I'm back with some Hi-Capa stuff. There is now a new upgraded Hi-Capa in the collection. This is the first time I did a major renovation to a 4.3. This is based on the Capa Customs COBRA slide, and it's the TM 4.3 that functions as the base gun. So this is my legendary TM 4.3 Hi-Capa. I bought it second hand, it was cheap. I purposefully ran it without any performance or power upgrades. It only had a threaded outer barrel for a tracer. And yes, you can absolutely run a stock Hi-Capa in CQB, but there are some downsides. Firstly, the muzzle inertia, only 0.7 joules, which is half of the limit in this airsoft field. Secondly, the Marui hop-up doesn't lift well heavier BBs, and it's quite inaccurate. The BB spread is wide. Thirdly, with green gas, it's gonna break some point, like what happened here. The system got stuck as the BBU rubber got ripped into pieces and the nozzle deformed. But this was after a lot of shooting. Therefore, some renovation was needed. But why I ended up with this COBRA slide by Capa Customs, besides the cool looks? Well, here the sights are built in. The front is for fiber optic and the rear is a ghost ring. In most aftermarket slides, both front and rear sights need to be bought separately, costing at least around 40 euros additionally to the slide. As there is no removable rear sight, the whole thing is very solid and it's not possible for the rear to explode when becoming loose. This happened with the CTM tag flatline slide. In Europe, the COBRA is expensive. Gunfire and Shogun have sold it at over 200 euros, but I found it at 130 at Battle Flare. My previous build around a year ago was with the CTM tag flatline slide, the rainbow build. Also discussed the principles on how to achieve the highest performance with a minimal budget. When it comes to power, there is the evidence-based power upgrades video series, where I did a statistical comparison on how to boost the power. And also I challenge you to the speedrun challenge, how fast you can disassemble and assemble the TM Hi-Capa. After the stock BBU O-ring and nozzle broke, I temporarily installed these, the CowCow pink mood nozzle and BBU. Basic nice package. The slide is CNC cut, the faces are very complex and the color is anodized. A CNC machined product is milled from a solid block of aluminium. It's stronger and less likely to crack under heavy use than a cast or molten aluminium slide, which is poured into a mold and may have some microscopic porosity and weaker spots. The COBRA came with a 4.3 short guide rod plug as well as fibers for the front sight. The fiber gathers ambient light, so the sight appears as a bright dot. From the stock slide, extracting the only parts needed, which are the Marui recoil spring and 5KU outer barrel. The 5KU aluminium outer barrel, the most budget-friendly, but 5KU parts might come with the risk that you need to shave down or file them for better fitment. I'm going to use here the CowCow blowback unit that instead of the O-ring has the piston head. It's the B02 version. Loctite the BBU screws and lubricate the piston head. This nozzle, this is the first for Hi-Capas, which is like the NPAS is for the MWS. You can adjust the amount of gas propelling the BB, but here the combination doesn't seal very well, and I have to try some other nozzle. The pink mood even worse, because the pinky has larger cylinder volume. This nozzle is not stock TM, but some other cheap aftermarket. Don't remember the manufacturer, but it fits perfectly. I have destroyed countless nozzle return springs, but so far the CTM tag springs have been the most durable. Melt the tips of the fiber optics and it will stay in place without any kind of gluing. The hop-up chamber, always go for the TDC. It's no longer more expensive than the traditional pressure arm style chambers. This is master mods among the most affordable ones. How is the hop adjusted? At the bottom there is a hole for a hex screw. The downside here is that in order to adjust the hop you only don't have to take the slide off, but you need a tool. Next, the inner barrel. Basically we are gonna increase the power from 0.7 to around 1 joule. This happens with the longer barrel. This is the LA Capa Customs FLAT bucking. It's the first flat for Hi-Capas. It is very good, but also the maple leaf is very good. At least in Airsoft, all the premium buckings perform so well that there is no gameplay-wise meaningful difference between them. But I don't know how is it with practical shooting or action air. Roughly, buckings are either from silicone or rubber. For indoors, either is fine. Going to short stroke a bit later. Looped and ready, but it is way too tight for the stock Marui frame. That's most likely because the Marui frame is made from cast zinc alloy rather than CNC machined metal, so its dimensions aren't perfectly precise. So there is a bit excess, but with the CNC slide the tighter tolerances start to show. I had to slightly shave down the outer rails of the frame, just enough to remove the black paint. Okay, you can still see that the slide won't fully return forward, because there is still too much friction. Had to shave down the frame a bit more. With this outer, the inner barrel is stable even without O-ring support. About the lower, I plan to change only the trigger, unless something else looks worn. The Marui Trident spring looks healthy, not gonna replace it. Finally, the short stroke reduces the slide's travel distance and thus makes cycling faster, but eliminates the slide catch mechanism. Buffers also absorb the impact, making the system a bit more durable. Faster cycle requires a faster nozzle return spring, and we have this covered with the CTM tag spring. With the short stroke, I ultimately ended up with the combination of a washer disc, stiffer, dark green, buffer, washer, dark green, and a washer. .01, same, 1, 0.99, 99, 97, 98, 1.32, some kind of misreading, 0.98, 98, 98, 96, 94, 96, empty.